See that? The interlock probe is bent down too far. Not sure how it got bent down, but it's contacting the torsion latch. We should have clearance above this, and we do not. So we need to bend that probe up. That's better. Kind of have a problem within a problem here. Somebody adjusted the interlock probe down because they thought that maybe it wasn't clearing underneath the blocking fingers. So that was problem one. Problem number two, let me get my fat fingers in here. Our torsion latch isn't being tripped sufficiently by the trip on the number 9 spoon. But let me swing you guys around overhead here. I don't know if you guys can see, let me get a little bit of light in here. The post for the torsion lever, the post that it pivots on, it's kind of almost buried under this cross shaft. Our belt is stretched out. Our short turret belt stretched out too far. So we have too much space between the trip. Right there on our number 9 spoon. Oh, you can't see it. Whatever. I'll explain a little more. Our trip arm here is worn out a little bit too. That shouldn't be too big of a deal. The bigger problem is the stretched out belt. So let's go ahead and manually index this turret. So as we move forward, the interlock probe, the T probe, should move over. And we've got some clearance in between these two areas. Sorry for my shaky cameraman skills. I'm a mechanic and not a cinematographer. But let's go a little bit further. You can see the spatial relationship between the trip on the number 9 spoon and the torsion latch. I'm going to go ahead and manually depress the pin release lever in the number 5 center chute. We're gonna watch that trip. That was pretty fast. They've got a helper spring on this thing. That's a whole different story for another day. But we need to make this a little bit better. So really all we need to do is replace our stretched short turret belt. So this belt is what we're going to be replacing. These guys have cast iron cams for the indexing. So belt number is what is right off the top of my head, 12, 150, 113. If they had the stamp steel, it would be the same part number, but a -600. It's slightly longer. Don't mix them up. It can cause weird things. This is crazy. The part number on this belt is 12-150-121. I've never seen this part number before. Maybe somebody out there knows how old this belt is. It's definitely a short turret belt, but that's not a part number I've ever seen. Crazy stuff. I'm a little bit bummed because I lost my favorite red-handled Knipex duckbill pliers. They're somewhere, just not here. They're got done working somewhere one day and packed out, and then I noticed, hey, the next time I got to another stop, they were not in my bag. It's tragic. I have to use these really crappy needle nose pliers. I do have some X-washer pliers. If this doesn't work, then we can use those. Just not, I'm not a huge fan of the X-washer pliers. It's okay. So we need to remove our X-washers and X pins from the front side of our turret long link and our turret short link. I neglected to remove spring tension from the long turret belt idler. Let me put you guys on pause, and I will do that momentarily. Okay, we have spring tension off of our long turret belt, and our turret clutch slide plate is allowed to slide a little bit. We're just going to finagle it through that opening. Ew, can you see how like cracked and trash this thing is? Crazy. Yeah, she's done for. We have a new belt. This is a 48-inch belt. This is not the Dash 648 and 1/2 or 50 or whatever length they're calling it these days. Back in my day, it was called 48 and a half. Because I'm old and cranky. I'm 139 in bowling years. It's like a dog. Just add 7 to however long you've been doing this, and that's your age in bowling years. You think I'm joking? Every joke is rooted in some type of seriousness. That's okay. It's funny, but it's true. And somebody out there is going to hate me for this. I'm going to reuse this X washer. Why? Because they don't have any new ones in stock yet. Shh. Don't tell anybody. I'll use new X washers as soon as they get some in. I'm going to go put our long turret belt tension spring back on, and then I will be right back. This is looking good. Let's go ahead and head back up top side, and I will show you where the post on that turret, brains blanking, the torsion latch, that's what it is. I haven't had a day off in like 2 weeks, so forgive me. My words are coming out very, very difficultly. Can you see how much further forward our shaft here for our torsion latch is? It's like a 1/2 inch difference, huh? I bet it will index after the number 5 pin just fine now. Perfect! Oing, 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 oing. I'm gonna unthread this spring assembly and make it longer. They had an absolutely ungodly amount of spring tension on this, and I think it was to compensate for a worn belt. Right now we've got about an inch with the spring slacked out, an inch between the spring hook and the plate, so that should be pretty good. All right, that's gonna wrap it up for this one. We have what else are we doing? Lane number 9, lane 17, lane 33, and 15 and 25, 2 jogger shaft rebuilds. Yeah, it's gonna be kind of a busy day. I want to see if they have a spare jogger shaft made up. At one point, they had a shaft, but try finding anything in here. It's hard to do.